Hello, this is another one of my videos based on an old manuscript of mine on the universal hazard of justice and the Baha'i world from 1963 to 73. This one concluding the short description of the work of the hands of the cause. As with all the videos in this series, the basic source material is the Messages from the Universal Hazard of Justice, the book, The Messages from the Universal Hazard of Justice, 1963 to 1986, and there's also an old article I co-wrote with Moojan Momen, The Baha'i Faith, 1957-1988, which provides some context. With these videos on the hands of the cause, there are also a number of sources giving short biographies of the hands mentioned, including Baron Harper's Lights of Fortitude, the second edition of which is dated 2021, and then there are several online biographies of individual hands in Baha'iopedia and also a few in Wikipedia, and then my old Concise Encyclopedia of the Baha'i Faith also has individual entries on the hands. For the photographs included in this video, see the Baha'i Media Bank. So in the previous video we talked about the main work of the hands during this period, so it just gives time to finish off that discussion. Other significant aspects of the hands' work included representing the universal hazard of justice at the inaugural conventions of new national communities and at major international conferences, overseeing the program of activities for visiting pilgrims at the Baha'i World Center, and involvement in the management of the extensive Baha'i properties, including many holy places in Iran. One quite unique contribution was by Tarazullah Samandari, one of the few remaining Baha'is to have actually met Baha'u'llah, and who in his extensive tours of the Baha'i world continued until shortly before his death in 1968 at the age of 93, was able to share his memories and thus bring a greater vividness to many Baha'is' sense of their own religion's origins. Another special contribution was by the Iranian-British hand Hassan Baliuzi, who used the restrictions on travel imposed by his own declining health to concentrate on his scholarly interests in Baha'i history, and who thus effectively initiated the modern period of Babi and Baha'i studies. Baliuzi had lived in Britain since 1932 and had played a key role in the development of the Baha'i faith in his adopted country. His monograph on Edward Brown and the Baha'i faith came out in 1970, reopening an important scholarly debate, and was the first published English language academic work on Baha'i studies, other than articles, since the early part of the century, and it was followed by a whole series of other books. Another very significant person was Shafi Effendi's widow, Ruhi Khanum, and she occupied a unique position. Born of Canadian-American parentage, she married Shafi Effendi in 1937, becoming his helper and companion, as well as serving as his secretary for many years. After her husband's death in 1957, she acted as the chief rallying point for the Baha'is, grieving at the loss of their guardian, and played a major role in the work of the custodial hands in Haifa. After the election of the Universal Hazard of Justice, now aged 52, she embarked on a series of quite often epic journeys that took her to almost all parts of the Baha'i world, as well as to remote areas where no Baha'is had yet visited. Meeting with heads of state as well as peasants and tribal peoples, her travels included a 9-month tour of India in 1964, a 7-month tour of Latin America, 1967-8, focusing on the Amerindian peoples, and 4 lengthy journeys across Africa from 1970 to 73. She also wrote a biography of her husband, Sheriff Effendi, entitled Priceless Pearl, which came out in 1969, and a condensed version of which appeared in the publication Baha'i World. Over the years, the House renewed its tributes to the hands and their work. Thus, at Reservoir in 1966, it noted the special missions which the hands had discharged on its behalf, the teaching tours they'd undertaken, the conferences they'd organised, their constant work at the Baha'i World Centre, and above all, their never-ending encouragement of the Baha'is and their watchfulness over the welfare of the cause of God. As the hands have given distinction and effective leadership to the work of the entire Baha'i community. Again, at Reservoir 1967, the House referred to the unfailing light of the hand services throughout the year. They were a precious legacy left to the Baha'i world by Sheikh Effendi, and their place in history was already assured by dint of their appointment to such high office. Their continued and constant services, however, meant that in addition to the honour and respect which was naturally due to them on account of their rank, was increasingly added the love and admiration of the Baha'is. Their present services included encouragement of the National Assemblies and of the Baha'is in general to work to achieve the goals of the plan and to obtain a deeper understanding of the true meaning of the Baha'i revelation, a significant contribution to the progress of the plan, which would have a lasting effect on the development of the Baha'i community. At Reservoir 1970, the House cabled that it was moved to pay loving tribute to the hands for their brilliant services in blazing teaching trails across the surface of the planet and in uplifting and advising the Baha'is on all continents. At Reservoir 1971, the House referred to the thankfulness and delight and even wonder and astonishment that was evoked by the hands' continuing travels and other services. Their deeds were such as to eclipse the apostles of old and conferred eternal splendor on the present period of Baha'i history. On behalf of the Baha'is everywhere, the House members offered their hands reverent love and gratitude. At Reservoir in 1973, the House noted that the hands have rendered sacrificial and distinguished service throughout the 9-year plan, inspiring the Baha'is, helping the National Assemblies, and promoting the teaching work. They had played a vital role in the success of the plan in all parts of the world, and the lagging fortunes of several national communities had been revolutionized by a visit by one of the hands, who had inspired swift and energetic action, which had then been followed by astonishing results that had completely reversed the community's prospects. The hands had also added distinguished works to the literature of the faith. In conclusion, let me very quickly note the House's praise of the work of the Continental Boards of Councillors during this period. Thus, in its Reservoir message of 1969, the House described the formation of the Boards of Councillors as the most significant and far-reaching development of the past year. Established only after full consultation with the hands, the new boards had both strongly reinforced the activities of the hands of the cause as an institution and made it possible for the hands as individuals to extend their services across the continents, so that their love, wisdom, and spirit of dedication became universally available to the Baha'is. The House expressed itself well satisfied at the exemplary manner in which the councillors had embarked on their high duties under the guidance of the hands. In July 1969, the House again praised the devoted efforts and exemplary services of the Continental Boards during their first year of service. The loyalty, steadfastness, and devotion of the newly appointed councillors had reinforced the vital work of the hands. Again, at Reservoir 1970, the House referred to the effective reinforcement of the noble work of the hands, which the able and dedicated councillors and their auxiliary boards were performing. Together, these bodies were a vital institution of the faith. Again, at Reservoir in 1973, the House stated that the councillors, advised and guided by the hands and working in close collaboration with them had already performed outstanding and distinguished services during their brief period of office. So many thanks to you for listening, and particular thanks to my patrons for their kind support and encouragement. Without them, it would be very difficult for me to make these videos. If you want to, you're very welcome to support my channel. Like, comment and share on the videos. It really does help. Subscribe if you want to be notified of future videos. I'll give a Patreon link below in case you want to provide practical support. Next week we'll move on to the first 9-year plan, covering the period 1964 to 73. Have a good day.